6 o'clock. We're going to call to order the meeting of the Fuller Field Commission. Start with that tonight.
Let's start a pledge.
Okay. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance to start. Yep, of course. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Start with the review of the meeting minutes from the January 11th meeting. Thank you for getting those out again. Everybody had a chance to review those?
Yep. Good. Motion to accept.
Second.
Motion's on the floor. Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Housekeeping items and administrative. Mackenzie, anything?
Nothing on our end.
Okay.
Anything from the State House? Have you heard anything?
I haven't heard anything.
Is there anybody we can contact?
Just Megan.
I was just gonna say Megan Kilcorn.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've talked to her once and
I
she
talked
looked
to
into it.
Diane actually last week. What was it?
We're waiting to see when the Fuller Field in the state legislature can fold into the Clinton Parks and Rec, so we don't have to do two meetings. So,
I'll try to get in touch with her again.
Didn't even mention to
Okay.
her. We're gonna call.
I mean, we're kind of at their mercy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
If it's not
She's the
before
one
that,
who's
I'll
been
mention.
updating us.
Okay.
Usually I think she's told Mackenzie was the last update we had.
There hasn't been anything for a while, but I don't think she's received any update either.
Yeah.
She said that usually it takes a long time to come through.
Yeah, it's been over 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's taking a while.
okay. All right.
Okay.
Department updates? Nothing?
Nothing for Fuller Field.
Well, let's get into the feasibility study status. We have Brian here.
All right, so I did provide a handout, and this is just, so I believe the last meeting was more, how do we want to proceed with this? And I was kind of looking for guidance, if you want, because it's a Parks and Rec, or a Fuller Field article, how we want to approach this. And I assumed from the beginning that it would be the facilities department. I kind of took that and ran with it, but I just wanted to make sure we're all on the same page. And I think that was decided last meeting, which since then, you'll see the handout in front of you. So I did had a few conversations with Phil Duffy, who's familiar with, other town buildings. I believe the library, the senior center at some point, the old fire station, all kind of went through a similar process before, it was decided how to move forward and what's the best path forward. I reached out to an individual I know that did work kind of in the residential area for me personally, actually, just to kind of pick her brain and see if it's something that her company does, and that's from Emerald House Studios. And it was more so to get kind of a consistent scope of work, and I wanted to bring the scope of work that I think that we're all thinking about to make sure that when a study does come back, we have the information that we are looking for. So she laid out, and we went back and forth a couple times, 7 pretty much bullet points of what this could consist of. Obviously, we would need kind of experts in particular areas, but if I won't read it word for word, but I'll kind of read the underline. First being a building site observation report, and that's pretty much the conditions as they are now, right? They're going to assess the building as is, and that would kind of give us a, start the path forward as to what needs to be done ultimately. And then hopefully at the end of this, we'll get an estimate cost, potentially go to town meeting, or however we want to go forward. Do we want to piece it together? Do we want to do it all at once? Do we want to take the information that we get You know, they may come back and say it's a $15 million project, and we look at it and say, okay, that's not feasible, you know,
Yeah.
based on the study. Or they may come back and say, you know, we can do this section, this section, this section. My thought is to do everything. We'll do the concession, we'll do the restrooms, we'll do the field house, we'll even do the scoreboard. Get that whole, make sure it's operational, make sure we can,
Lights too? We're trying to get that in there? We'll see.
we can see.
Option.
Right. Because I'll get into that in a second as far as the lights are concerned.
Okay.
Just a separate update. But then they'll look at things, building code compliance, they'll look at what do we need to get it up to code as we start doing repairs, you know, ADA, handicap accessible, things like that, that right now it's not compliant, but it doesn't need to be because we're not using it in that capacity. Land survey, we may not need. I'm trying to see if that has been done on the field, and if we have any information on that. So that might be something we take out, but because we already have that information. But until then, I'm gonna keep it in there.
Because there's no plan to go out beyond the footprint, correct?
Right now, I think once we have the feedback, we can discuss as a board, or you guys can discuss kind of what's the end use that we want to see. Is it something just bringing the current building up to code, making it safe, making all the utilities work? You know, getting it to a point where we can use those restrooms, we can use that concession stand safely, and we're compliant with all, you know, all the regulations. We could still keep it as storage space, but update it in a way, you know, and then maybe.
Ideally, we'd love to see like both buildings come together and make it more of a rec space / storage facility.
Okay, and so that's something that I think as we go, like, so we'll get like existing feedback, right? This is where we're at, right? And then as you go down, you're gonna get, you know, they're gonna look at the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, all the kind of bones in the building. And at the end, which is kind of what we're looking to get to, is maybe an estimate to repair, right? So we can, you know, as this goes along, we can say, okay, well, we want an estimate as to repair as is, or we want to look to connect buildings. What is that going to cost? And at least we'll have some type of estimate in a way, or a ballpark figure. We can go back to town meeting or whatever, you know, whatever we need to do to secure funding, whether it be a grant. I don't know where that's going to come, but we have a warrant article for $25,000. So we're going to keep it under that, which means we're probably going to, you know, this is just a starting point. So I wanted a scope of work that we agree upon to go to get three different quotes within that range, right? So before, because we want to compare apples to apples and not, you know, give this company this scope, this one, and then we get prices that don't match, right? So this right here is, I'm not saying we're going with this company, I'm not even sure if they'll do it, but she at least laid out kind of, is this what you'd want to see in a study? And to me, it's going to give us ultimately what we want is how much is it going to cost, and, you know, if we upgrade as is, keep everything separate, or if we want to do a larger project, we'll at least know what we need to update the current facility, and then the additional cost we can estimate.
I think that's what it's going to come down to, is the estimate to bring it up to where we need it to be versus what it would be to make it all one facility. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it'd be great to have this whole place, like this whole section of a rec space, you know? I mean, I love facilities, but, you know, that garage would be nice too, and maybe you could have your own home someday.
That would be nice. We have no space. This is the most space we have in town.
I'm all for that.
Yeah, we're looking, I mean, as far as space is concerned, I know that's a town-wide issue right now that's getting a lot of attention, which is not a bad thing. People are starting to talk about it and different, kind of use their heads and think about what's the better use of space and how do we get, you know, the most bang for our buck here. So we don't have equipment that's thousands of dollars sitting in the elements outside, you know, and, you know, so you can do your summer programs. And so I think ultimately there's going to be more conversations for that down the road, but at least we'll know what we're starting with. And I think that's the point of these funds is to kind of see, okay, if we were going to update this building, right now we don't know. It could be a $100,000 project, which is not bad, or it could be a $3 million project that we would have to really have another discussion about as to, is it worth is it worth going down that path?
Exactly.
Right, so.
And this is I mean, this is a scope that they can provide within that 25,000?
Well, that's what we're gonna find out.
That's what we're gonna find
So
out.
I wanted to come, and then, like, some of the, like the land survey, if there's anything we have that we don't need them to research for us, we could remove and save money that way, and kind of slide that in, as long as we have the information. But these are kind of the basics of what, you know, when that report comes back, I think will help us make a decision.
Yeah.
What, you know, what to do moving forward. And then by having this scope of work, we can then get an accurate quote from 3 different companies on the same thing that we're looking for.
Okay.
So comparable, you know, we're getting the same, you know, same price for the same service.
So fair to call it like a revitalization?
A revitalization of the building?
Of like, because, so the reason I asked, I was just curious when, if it, like, say it's too expensive, you know what I mean? And we're gonna like pull some stuff, or a couple things out of the plan. I was just curious, like, which ones would go first? Like the field stuff, like, we're more focused on the building, right?
Yes, I would say the building first, and then if it comes back and we have some wiggle room with that,
Then we
those
can go for
funds,
like-
then we can maybe stretch it to get. And again, and that doesn't mean that project, once we have that information, all has to be done at once. You can separate that as well, but at least you
Right.
have the information as to what it would take to, so we could do a lighting project, but that might be, maybe we get information on the electrical hookups now, and then when we, you know, but when it's time to do renovations of the building, you know, we don't have the funds for that, but we have the information for future
Yeah,
usage,
okay.
you know.
That's
So,
excellent.
But this report would basically tell us
current state and.
what we're looking for and
And
what.
we need a benchmark too.
Thank you for-
So I would suggest to the contractor that is doing this, well, we want to, if we don't know the ultimate use, we want to, how do we get it up to code? How do we get it safe? How do we, and that's our starting point.
Yeah.
To utilize it in.
To
its
utilize
current- In its current
Right.
condition.
So people
As
can be in
storage,
there
as
safe.
concession, as restrooms,
You
right?
know,
Right.
If we have to, we can put porta potties outside of it, you know, it's just a matter of getting it to the point
Right.
where people can be in there, they can store things in there if they
Right.
need to, and remove whatever we need to.
Right. And we can always change what that building is for, like based
Right.
on needs or based on space.
There's no rules.
But-
etched in
But you have to
stone
get
yet.
it to a point where you're able to do that,
Right.
right?
Right.
And this is the beginning stage.
You can actually occupy it, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I think that's
Excellent.
where the focus needs to be, and that's kind of my message to whoever, you know, bids on this. Not necessarily bids, but we'll get pricing on it. We don't have to go out to bid, because we're gonna stay under that threshold.
Okay.
Thank you for breaking that down.
Yeah, so,
I appreciate that.
yeah, if there's any questions, you can email me, you can call me, you can tell Mackenzie to get hold of me. But again, I don't have any specifics other than them laying this out, doing an outline and saying, the package could include this, right? So
Okay.
now the next is getting pricing and.
What their price
and
is.
what we
Okay.
get for that,
Excellent.
yeah.
Do we think that by next meeting, we could have a price at least by Emerald House Studio? Or at least
Yeah, so my next step, because I also met with the town administrator and assistant administrator today for some other projects, and I did get 3 other companies that they've used in past projects.
Okay.
that, I got it at the end of the day today, so I'm gonna kind of, once I brought this to your attention and we're kind of on the same page, I'm gonna reach out to a couple of them and say, this is what we're looking for, and have them all price them out at once. And
this is our scope, what can you do
This
this?
is what we're looking to do.
Okay.
Can you help us, can you not? Is it worth you pricing it out for us, and then we'll go from there.
Is it GCs? Is that typically who's gonna?
The general
Yeah.
So they have, each section will have their own consultant.
Okay,
They'll contract. I think, like, as far as Emerald House, they'll put the reports together.
put the-
They'll set up the meetings with the, you know, the civil engineer and the, you know, the mechanical
Okay.
and all that stuff. And then we'll get that information, you know, compiled, and we'll have a nice report as to, and to me, the biggest piece would be, you know, section 7 would be the estimate to repair,
Yep.
right? So, all that being said, they can kind of ballpark, you know, it's gonna be hundreds of thousands, or it's gonna be 50,000, or it's gonna be something bigger.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
we'll go from
Okay.
Thank you.
EHS is Emerald House Studio.
That's one of the, okay, that's one of the,
Yeah.
okay, one of the companies.
Glad we're getting
Anybody have any?
exciting.
Go ahead.
No, I'll stick around, I have something for Parks and Rec, so.
Anybody have any questions for Brian on this? I mean, other than, I think we understand, I think we're good. It's just bringing this building up to where we can go into it.
Yeah.
Walk into it and actually
At least use it.
be able to, Mackenzie, to use it
I think
Make it usable.
I
for
think it would
something.
be huge.
We don't know what we were gonna use it for, we just wanna use it.
It'd be very beneficial to the
Occupation.
community to get that up to code.
Yeah.
I mean, this baseball
Yeah.
field alone,
Yep.
you know, it could potentially bring in some revenue in the future for the town, so, you know, I think
Great.
it's definitely
That
a
would be-
priority.
That would definitely.
Great.
Thank you,
be
Brian,
good.
for the
Thanks, Brian.
update.
I would
Any-
say I agree with that. What Amanda just said, that would be excellent if we could get revenue up from something that
It's
is helping,
existing.
you know, helping they're there for the community, so openly, you know.
Great. Anything else on the Fuller Field agenda? That is it. Nobody here for public comment?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion's on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Good. Okay, it is 6:17. We're gonna start the Clinton Parks and Recreation Commission meeting. We've done the Pledge of Allegiance for the first one, so we'll continue on with the administration. Again, we got the minutes. Laura, thank you very much, and Mackenzie, both of you. We've reviewed those. Everybody, I think, received those.
Motion to approve?
So,
Motion's on the floor. Any comment? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Housekeeping items. Mackenzie has given us a quote for the Clinton Parks and Rec for phone. I'll let you go up on that or go forward on that.
So we did receive a quote from Verizon for their government phone plans. And it's actually more inexpensive to go the cell phone route than it is to continue with our landlines.
Landline.
So based on our most recent Comcast bill, we're paying $268.96 a month for the landlines. And then the cell phones, like upfront, is $100 per phone, so it would be 2 iPhones for Laura and I, and then $100 per phone per month, so $200 a month. So we would be saving,
No, it's $50 a month.
oh, $50 a month, I'm
Per
sorry,
phone, so it's only
$100.
$100 a month. for one
how much
phone.
was the landline? Sorry.
$268.
$268.96.
269, wow.
And so the
So
phones
drop
are
your bill
what?
down to $100 a month?
Yeah,
Thank
as
you.
far
Two
as,
phones are $100?
as far as the quote that we
That's
received
excellent.
from Verizon, they weren't very wordy with if there's any added fees or anything as of now, but
I'm sure there will be.
yeah, that's what I anticipated as well, but
It's still
Still,
substantially
it's not gonna be anywhere
cheaper.
close
Are
to
we-
268.
yeah, right?
No. Are we okay with not having a landline as far as 911 or anything like that? Do we need, are we,
We don't have a landline at our house anymore. I mean, a lot of
I'm just
people
wondering
don't. I
business,
mean,
I'm just wondering
But you're
business
talking
or
about
public facility
Yeah, and kids
wise.
being here and stuff, you
When
know.
I mean, when I see
I'm
them,
not-
I'm like,
I don't
wow.
I don't know if that's something you should look into, because you're right.
The only thing I would say is, can we check with probably Mike Ward?
Yeah, we can check.
would
So,
we be-
because, hold on for just a minute. So, I think that would be the only obstacle, I mean, obviously, yeah, we're gonna be saving a ton of money. I just don't know, being a public building, if we're required to have
But
a,
they're doing away with that phone.
We would have to get a new phone.
a new phone anyway, so if we don't go this route, we have to purchase a new plan from Comcast and get new phones from Comcast, because
But could
our
it
phone
be
is
just
becoming
like
obsolete.
Could it be just like a phone where you could use for like emergencies in town type thing?
We can ask, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
see if we
mean-
can just like plug
I
it
mean,
in.
because that's a good point, I mean, you know, you.
I just
you
don't
have-
know. I don't,
We did reach out to Angela, the assistant town administrator, about this, so
And we've reached
Yeah,
out
we can-
to the town administrator
As
and to
well.
the town clerk and asking about if the town had a cell phone plan. And we still really haven't gotten a yes
I
or a
mean,
no.
But maybe you
answer.
should ask them specifically about, you know,
this,
kids,
yeah.
kids, like, you know, it's a phone, they're just
I
thinking
mean,
phone.
even if
They're
there was
not.
a phone here, that door's
The
gonna
door's
be
locked
locked,
anyways,
so
so-
it's kind of a mute point.
that's,
That's true.
You know, unless someone's breaking in that window in order to get in there.
To use our phone.
And most people have cell phones, so,
We can ask, the thing is, as
Yeah.
long as we
yeah,
ask
it's
and
true.
we'll find out also, I can call a couple of Parks and Recs in the vicinity, I'll call Berlin, Lancaster, Boylston,
Or do we get a
Sterling.
third
We have
cell phone
relationship with them.
Just in
And have
case.
one that's
Just plugged in.
designated here,
Just stays plugged in case we need it.
yeah,
It's still,
I mean,
it's still
not hard to
$100
replace
cheaper
yeah.
a month, so.
That's
Yeah.
You know,
excellent.
and it's not like you can't track them, you'll have the
No,
ability
that's
to track
true.
everything.
Was the landline with the, you said Xfinity Business?
Sorry, what
The
was that?
landline was with
It's
Xfinity?
Comcast.
Comcast.
Comcast, okay. So I think you just answered this for me, but I just wanna reiterate, just to make sure. The the phone numbers, like for each town department, is that what,
We're gonna keep the same phone
Yeah,
number.
we're
It's gonna
auto-forward,
port, it's gonna
yeah.
auto forward to our phone.
Right.
so it'll keep, still
Right
be?
now,
Yeah.
our phone
Excellent, okay.
outgoing
That-
isn't even the 978-365
Really?
number.
It's
No,
a 706.
It's already on an auto forward.
Okay, that
So,
totally answered my
yeah, and
question,
that's-
thank you.
What our question was, we want
To
the
make sure
number
that
that we
it's,
have
uh,
now to port into our cell phones, and so one will go,
Right.
like Mackenzie will be extension 300, I'll be extension 301, so.
So it'll stay
the
exactly the
customer
same as it
Or
is
any
now.
person calling in, it'll be seamless.
Oh,
They'll
that's
still get
perfect.
the same
That's
message.
Definitely.
so I guess I don't wanna hold this up.
Right, I was,
However,
We'll
the
check.
only
No, that's
thing
understandable, yeah.
is, I don't wanna hold it up. I mean, I guess we could,
I'd like,
dependent upon,
I'd like to motion that we approve their request dependent on if there's a regulation with the town that we must have a physical line in this building.
Okay.
Yeah, I second that.
So-
Oh, sorry, go
that's
ahead.
okay. And while we discuss this, motion's on the floor, while we discuss this, we'll just make sure that, you know, keep us informed. If Mike says, then we'll go. Okay, but absolutely, I mean, it's a cost saving measure. It seems to be more, you know, easier for you guys.
Just remind them of the nature of this building, like
Yeah.
who occupies it.
Yeah.
Like kids and, you know, like, you're not always here.
So
Yeah,
dependent
exactly.
upon that.
And don't feel like like, I understand the thing's gonna be with you. Don't feel like you need to respond outside of business hours. I would like you
What's that?
guys only to respond to people during business hours.
Yeah, because
No, I
they
don't want
can
it
leave
to
a
become-
message just like they
right.
could here.
I just don't want it to become like something that people are abusing because they have access to you all the time.
Well, at least now that we can check and
We
then
can-
we can make the
it-
determination,
yeah, that it
like,
wouldn't
is
be our
this
personal
right now,
phone.
like, does somebody need us, or is this something that can wait till tomorrow, we can shoot off an email
Right.
and respond?
You have
Because right
any-
now, once we leave, we can't get into our phones. to
Do you have
answer
any
them till we get
dealings
back.
with utilities of the facility?
Do you have a work
Typically
phone?
not. I don't.
Okay, so do
Okay.
you use your personal phone too?
I do.
Okay, so that's what
Okay.
We
All
could
right.
start a whole revolution.
Yeah.
We could, yeah. So motion's on the floor. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Good, great. I apologize, Brian, I said we were gonna do
No,
the
I-
chessboards, and then I went right into the phones.
Not a problem.
Concrete chessboard quotes for the facility updates.
I got a question on those. So, I asked this last meeting, cause I was curious, and that it said, you know, concrete chest tables. Last meeting, I inquired if they were gonna be like granite top or like not, you know, fully concrete or whatnot. And the reason I asked that is just because the agenda says concrete chest tables, but last meeting we were saying granite chest tables. So I just wanted to get that clear, like what the difference, because I know like the price difference is like, I think like one is like 1,000, 1,500 for like concrete, and like like 3,000 for granite or something.
We have a grant for 3,000 from the Clinton Cultural Council.
Right.
And so we have the 3 quotes, and whether it's a granite or 2 concrete, the 3 separate quotes have been presented to Brian. And so he'll go through them, and whatever makes the most sense for the park,
Okay.
price-wise.
I would say the decision on what you want would be up to
Up to
you
us.
guys.
Yeah.
It would, on our end, I would say that we have like a site meeting,
Yeah.
Yeah,
walk
that's
through,
what,
this is where we want it, is it feasible?
Do we have the quotes already?
The
I have 3
Clinton
quotes.
Cultural Society, right?
Brian has
Yep.
them.
Yeah.
Brian has them.
I just got them tonight, so I'll look at them
Okay.
and I can connect with
That's
them.
excellent.
The only other, I mean, if you want to see a spec sheet on it, I mean, I would imagine that the bottom part would probably be concrete, like a poured
I think we
concrete,
need
or it's
probably
already
slab.
it's a
We might
pre-poured.
have
Imagine
to-
the top is the
We
granite.
might have to pour a
Yeah.
slab in
Yeah.
a location and put that on top.
I would think
Brian,
so.
Top
when
granite,
you,
then-
when you have
I wouldn't have,
Because
the
that
whole
would
thing
plan
would be
wear
granite,
and
yeah.
Yeah.
ready.
Yeah, so I'll work
Just-
with them, because it just, I know Mackenzie was, email was kicking back, I think she was trying to get this to me prior to this. But I'll follow up with them, and then, again, on my end, I think the preference is up to the board as to what you want to purchase, and then as far as the location, we can
I
do
think
a
we
site walk and
discussed
say,
whatever,
it can
you
go
know,
here,
we can
there
afford.
it can't. And
with
then,
the grant and everything.
we can
Concrete slash
assist with the
granite
prep
chest
work
wall.
and installation, once we get there.
Excellent.
And they will go up at Central Park, and the senior center has requested one is by their side.
Yep.
You know, so
Are we doing
the
that?
folks that visit the senior center, because the idea for the concrete chessboard originally came from them, because they
Right,
were
yes.
looking for one and they couldn't get a grant.
Yep.
And so we were able to get a grant, so in an effort to work together, if we can get 2, one would probably go near that facility.
So prior to the installation, I think I know, we'll do a
We'll a site
walkthrough at the
visit,
park.
and
We'll do a
figure out
site visit
Where is the
and,
best place, working with Brian, and just what makes sense, because we have other events in the park, and we don't want the concrete chessboards to impede any other events that take place.
Question, would, you know the area that I sent you pictures of, out, like,
Yes.
right across, you know, where
Yeah.
the plywood is?
Yeah.
Would we be able to put one there? Because I know we talked about one on the Cochrane side and one on the senior center side, to cover that hole.
Oh, where the bubbler was? The-
Yes.
The water fountain, whatever you call it?
Yes, that eyesore. I would love to see something
We
done
don't-
with that.
We can look at it. We might wanna utilize the plumbing there at some point.
And that area doesn't
You know what
have
I mean?
shade.
To put another fountain up or
That's
something.
true.
that's all sprinkled around there too, right?
It is, and it's kind of a high traffic area too, right? It's
Okay.
that
Yeah.
kinda- But I
Maybe we
think
can get something else.
something needs to be done there,
Yes.
but I don't, if there's existing plumbing there, then maybe we look to put another fountain there. If it's,
Okay.
if we can
Oh,
hook it
that
in.
water fountain.
Instead of putting a concrete slab over it and then having to repipe something somewhere else.
You could always have one that's movable. you
That would
know?
be
You
excellent.
just
Yeah,
never
they'll
know.
end up down High Street or.
Yeah.
One out here. Like the one out
It'll be at the skate park with them doing rails off of it.
We're gonna call you and
Okay.
then go find it.
All right.
Listen, that plywood's driving me crazy. When I
One question on that,
Bolt it down.
sorry. Is the placement of them gonna be a committee decision, or is that?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, we just,
So we'll
yeah,
talk about that.
That's
yeah.
basically
We'll
the
do a
next
site
step.
visit.
That's
Okay.
the next step,
I
because
think
we've
the
already
style and
approved it.
location would be up to.
Up to us.
you guys,
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brian.
And then I just have one more
Yeah, what-
thing. And it was just, a lady came into the office today, I don't know if Mackenzie, you might have spoke to her from Planet Aid.
Oh, yeah.
I
And-
sent her to you.
Right, and I'm sending her back. No, I just wanna, just an update,
I
because
like
she's
that.
she's going to police and fire, and I know the DPW has 2 bins down at the DPW barn. I'm not exactly sure how, you get some portion of per pound or of whatever's in there, it goes back.
Clothes and shoes.
Yeah, and I think the town,
What,
the way it's set up
put
with
one
the
Planet Aid
DPW.
is the donation.
Yeah, they wanna put one here.
They become a dump
Keep,
area.
yeah, keep
Yeah.
going.
That's,
Yeah,
we
just
don't
keep-
have any
yeah, that's
parking
fine.
as it is
Hold
my like.
Yeah,
I'm
Keep
just
going.
saying,
I
won't
sent
be
her to you
voting
because she
yes for
wasn't
that.
sure. She was like, "Well, where can I put one?" And I was like,
Well, I'm just saying what the DPW is doing, And I said I'd bring it to you guys' attention, and what they're doing is, there's a fund, whatever, and I don't know if it's 7 cents a pound or something, that would have to be discussed. But they can set that up to go directly to the parks. I don't know the town regulations on that, so we'd have to look at that. But I think the DPW, it's going back to like our general town fund, and that's.
I'm not sure either, because I know we can't fundraise too.
Yeah, no.
Right,
So I'm not sure, yeah.
What's the reason on that?
I fully support putting one down by the DPW. I just
Yeah.
would not want to see one anywhere around
Would
here. 'Cause
definitely
it'll become
not.
a dump site,
It does become a, absolutely.
and I don't want to see that happen.
I'm
here.
curious what, why commissioners can't volunteer. I'm just curious. I don't know the reason.
This is something that's on the agenda to talk about.
Why we can't what? Fundraise?
Yeah,
Volunteer.
just
No,
mentioned it.
volunteer, but that's not,
We could,
where did that come from?
Sorry, I meant to say fundraise, not volunteer.
Because we're a
'Cause we're-
municipality.
we're a municipality.
And you have a budget.
We can't, yeah, we're not allowed to
We
fundraise
can
for
accept
it.
donations, but we
Right.
can't fundraise.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I've been wondering that for a while.
yeah, this was just more passing information along. Nothing has to be done with it.
And that's
but-
going into a general fund, you said anyways.
I
So
believe
it's
the
not-
DPW is, but they can set it up differently.
So would that be like their-
I didn't really get into it with her, I just said I'm going to.
This is just a donation.
Yeah, I thought,
I'll bring it up.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I would,
I would send
I
it
would-
back to Brian.
I would
Yeah.
not put it anywhere on any one of our parks.
Give him his
Absolutely
cell phone
not.
number.
yeah,
You're welcome.
thank you. But that's all I have.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Ryan.
Hope the traffic's not bad going
Not
on.
yet. I know. Long trek home.
It's rough out there.
Get your steps in.
Right.
On to the department updates, upcoming programs and events.
So first, for department updates, we are very excited to announce that January was a record month for revenue. Between summer playground registration opening up, our regular facility rentals, and our programming, we brought in over $45,000. So that was very exciting.
Wow.
Wow, that's
Wow.
amazing.
Congratulations, ladies. That is huge.
And
Yeah.
thank you for
That's amazing.
the time that you put in.
You guys should be proud.
You
of
guys
that.
really are.
That's with
doing an
everything, that's,
amazing-
That's
amazing.
just January.
That's
so
just
it's
January,
awesome.
doesn't, like,
Yeah.
December was big.
December was big too, but
It's bigger
this
than
is
the-
just January.
That's bigger than,
You guys are doing
Which
an
is 1 month,
excellent
not a
job.
quarter.
like,
Did any of the weeks
That's
of the
great.
playground get filled up already?
Nope.
I don't know.
They're still open as of right now.
Okay, but it's still early.
It's still early. We're about halfway on most of the weeks, so.
Oh, yeah.
Did-
Still early,
Oh,
still
Oh,
early.
yeah,
Does the money that we
not yet.
make
I opened
in
them up for another
revenue,
package. So.
go like into our like
rentals
revolving
Coming
budget?
in?
well, that goes, yeah, it goes into there.
Coming or?
Department.
We rent usually,
we rent
it's
every
Friday,
weekend,
Saturday,
yeah.
Sunday. We
Isn't the
usually
budget
have at
now
least
too-
2 to
Hold on,
3
hold on.
rentals every weekend, and they're
With the new
generally like
policies
4 to
too.
6 hours. And with the new policies, it's working out great. We haven't had one issue,
Cancellations.
one cancellation,
Yeah,
nothing. It's
That's good.
great. So Mackenzie's updates have really made
so
it.
we're very happy
This
to,
is this is just
Fantastic.
through
That's
all the
awesome.
programs. And everything?
programs,
And,
facility
like,
rentals,
rental.
and then, summer registration opening, so that's a big,
That's so
Yeah, that's
awesome.
high grossing program, but.
I just want to thank you guys personally for that, because the fact that it saves the town money makes me really happy.
That's great.
You know?
Yeah.
So good job, congratulations too. Thank you.
Let's go to prospective uses for upgraded recreation space.
Prospective uses for updated, okay, so we had a meeting just before the holidays with Dr. Meyer, and he proposed potentially having us take over the after-school program, and at the moment, we don't have the space for that. Or taking over at least a portion of it, and we still don't have the space for that, but, so that would be a big reason to take over more space,
Yes.
perhaps.
Can we use his space
Is that Janine? Use
I
the
think
school
they're
space?
already using
They're
their
already using the
space.
space.
for their after-school
For
program?
yeah.
But whether he's asking us to take over their after-school program,
But not using their space.
but not using their space?
I think they want to expand it, so we would be taking over a portion, like certain grades.
The overflow
Yeah.
of kids that,
Okay, they have a certain age we have a
We
certain
have-
age.
Yeah, that.
We would
that
have to write
program
up
fills
some sort of
very
a
quickly. And there are a lot
proposal
of people
for
still
it,
looking
but
for it.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a need, and it's not a need that's going away anytime soon, so.
because the classes are getting bigger and bigger.
Yes, and that's one of the reasons why I'm pushing so hard for this to become one, because.
Right, but if you commit to that in this building, then that kind of puts you in a spot when you have programs coming in.
Are we
So
talking-
I would think that would be
Sorry.
too big of a commitment for a long term, like from now until June. You don't know who's gonna wanna come in here and rent. you know
Are we
what I mean?
talking about this immediately?
No,
No,
this is at the
no,
end.
this is
In
like
the-
next
But-
year.
2023, 24.
It's
Yeah.
a future thing,
Okay.
like have
Okay.
us like think about it, how we would handle it, like
Okay.
moving forward.
Okay.
Didn't he say he would provide the busing?
He would provide the busing. He said we could make a stop out there,
And who is?
and it's a
this
self-sustaining. The
Who's gonna be
superintendent.
running it, just you
The
guys?
superintendent.
It's a self-sustaining program, so the staffing is paid through the tuition of the after-school program. So we would get the
We
staffing.
would
It's
hire
that-
somebody
you get more
to run
staff
it.
in.
Yeah.
Would it be
So
like different
But would you
drivers?
pay for
Beneficial.
rental of the building or no, because it's a public school?
we
who's
would get
renting?
we would be running the program, so we would get the
Tuition.
tuition of the.
Would it be
And
really
they'd be
bus
here.
drivers from the school or?
No, it would
Like
just be-
different people, right?
No, it would
Just
be
be the
the,
regular bus
It would
driver,
just
Just be a bus stop.
but just a different route.
Oh, I see, okay.
So it's just something to think about.
Yeah,
I support it.
I like it.
Because I can see it just lasting, what is it now? It's 4:30, 5 o'clock that they do the late pickup down
Five, yeah,
there?
it's five, yeah.
Like
So, I
I
mean,
got
that's
yelled at
not-
many times for being there at 5:15, yeah.
I mean, a lot of the evening programs here are like, 6.
6:30. Yeah.
so I don't see
And
that being a huge
During
issue.
the week, we don't have a ton of
Programming.
rentals, like during the day. We have a lot of evening rentals for meetings and things like that, but like not like during the like that block of time, like after school
I
through.
mean, just this space
Early
alone
evening.
and that garage.
Yeah,
I mean, that would,
you're all about that garage, I know.
I saw the garage and I,
You heard Brian, right?
yeah, I heard him and he heard me.
Yes, he did. Listen, you're expanding the bar, I think that's fantastic. I think there's a lot of stuff that we need to think about that goes,
consideration,
that
yeah.
we need to go
Definitely.
through this,
Yeah.
you know, liability wise.
It's a good thing to have.
I don't think the liabilities would
It'd be the same.
yeah than our
as
summer
doing the
program.
Yeah.
Okay,
If anything, it's less. We have less kids.
I
for less
honestly
time.
think it'll benefit the summer program because the kids will
Because
already be coming
not a
here.
bad-
So they'll easily just adjust to it instead of like, you know, adjusting to a new set of surroundings and they've already been here and know what to expect.
So are you just taking over the overflow, or is it a different age group?
I think
I think
we would be
everything's
taking a
negotiable.
different age group. I think would be the easiest way to do that.
Yeah.
But it's something we could discuss with him. Because right now, we couldn't take that many kids in this space, just this room.
what's your occupancy in here right now?
70, but I wouldn't want 70 kids in this room
No.
for any reason. Like,
I'd be a little,
I cap it
little
at
packed.
35 kids usually for our programming in this room, and that's already loud.
That's already way,
Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
70 with
You
tables
got
and chairs
35
is
kids
what.
who just sat for 7 hours in school all
Exactly.
day.
I mean, if you can use the,
Yeah.
Yeah,
if you
exactly.
if you can use the fields, great, but
Yeah.
if it's raining outside, you are not
Exactly.
going to have a good time.
But if you had the garage,
Or,
like a gym.
yeah, in those rooms over there so that like they could have a room to
I
do
was
their
just doing
homework.
that
They
to
could
you.
have a room to do crafts. They could have a room like if they
I
had to work
agree.
on a computer. So I think
It's great.
there's a lot of possibilities there.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's a need that the community is gonna need.
I definitely would like to see this transitioning more into a rec center than just a rec
After school center,
building.
after school building, after, yeah.
Yeah. That would flow.
That's a
right
great
into it.
use of that facility right there,
Wow.
those rooms, computer lab and arts and crafts room and stuff like that.
That, yes,
There's some
definitely.
points to negotiate for the money too.
Nice,
Funding, yeah.
okay. Anything else on that?
Not specifically for,
Hiring counselors.
so we have started our, hiring for our summer program. We, put it up on Facebook, it's on our website. We've started taking applications, and hopefully a lot of our returning counselors from last year will bring in their applications. They're coming slowly. The deadline for returning counselors is Or
It's the
the 17th, yeah. So hopefully we'll have a lot of kids coming back. This training is hard.
So just so you know, I do have a little bit of a communication line with many of the counselors that were here last year. And they could not be more excited about coming back
Okay, that's awesome.
for next year. Like, they're already turning down other opportunities.
You should tell them to get their application.
I understand, I can't, I know
You can't do
four
it
of
for
them. I know four of the counselors, and I know I can't force them to fill out their application, but they all are, I know, planning
I'm
on
very
coming
glad,
back.
yeah.
They are
Just
very,
pass the word to them.
I got a lot of verbal, like, yeah, I'll be back. Like,
right. And they're very, I
That's the
mean,
age.
Yeah.
what Mackenzie did and we voted on for the wage as well
Right.
really helps it out. So, no, that's great. And hopefully one of my sons will be applying as well. Needs to do something.
What's the average age range of them?
It's entering first grade.
You mean the counselors?
The counselors.
Entering ninth grade.
And, well,
The
the
CITs.
CITs are
CIT.
entering ninth grade, and then the counselors, our oldest counselor is entering his senior year in college. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
a wide range.
Cool.
Okay.
And I also have that going in the item, I believe, next week. And that'll run for 2 weeks.
When's the closing date? 17th of February?
That's just for the returning counselors. The new counselors is March 4th. So, about a month
That
out.
way you can get training them and.
Yeah.
Yep, I like it.
And I can see who's going to be on vacation what weeks, and that way,
Yep.
Good.
should be good.
Interns?
They're continuing with helping plan summer playground, new policies. They went down today to Emotions to go look at what colors and fabrics for t-shirts. So they're very, very choosy about that. So they're going with pink for counselors this year, so.
Oh, awesome. Okay. We covered the concrete chess table, right?
Yep.
Good. Status of scheduling a meeting with Clinton Area Little League, Clinton Youth Football, Clinton Youth Soccer.
So I reached out last week and I sent an email
Softball.
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 yes.
I thought that was part of,
Hey, it's not me, don't look
I
at
thought
me.
it was part of Clinton Area Little League. I
No.
thought. it-
Soccer's not.
Well, it is,
Soccer.
but it's
They still
it's
have.
under that
it's
umbrella.
Still
but
its
under
own,
the umbrella.
okay, okay,
Entity.
all right, sorry.
They were
Clinton
both
Youth Softball.
separately on the email.
Yeah.
I get corrected enough at home.
So I sent an email to all the spring sports that use our facilities and set them our new policies, made sure if there were any questions,
All through an email?
yes, all through an email.
What response did you get?
Yeah.
Um,
Curious to know.
we were able to answer any questions and iron out any concerns, and we have a meeting scheduled for early March.
What response did you get from the CLS, Little League, Youth Football, and Softball?
Oh, there was some questions about facility use and charges, or charging for facility use.
Okay.
So what do you guys want to do about fees? Are you comfortable with the previous arrangement, or?
I'm not.
They were always charged
Do we want to talk about this? Because I'm not.
I'm curious.
free of charge, wasn't it?
It was, but
Yeah, no, they should be.
no, they should be
What
paid.
was
Yeah.
it? That's free.
They have a lot of income coming in.
What,
I mean, the fees are not that high.
what is it that they want to put a fee on?
So we are
I'm
talking right now about the Clinton Area Little League,
Yeah.
Clinton Youth Football fees for facility rentals.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay.
So do we already have
It's $10
one?
a game.
It's right now,
$10, okay.
It's
So
another
right now-
$15 if you need bases, so it's $25 a game. It's
So 20.
not that much money.
Okay. And then, so we're looking to, increase that?
No.
we're discussing it right now.
Oh, okay. Whether or not to do.
In previous documentation, I have read that there was an understanding that a donation would be made to the Parks and Rec Department from the Clinton Little League because of the snack shack and the revenue that they would get from that.
Was there an
From-
amount ever discussed?
Yeah.
I think it was like $500
Yes.
that I've read. I have it in my paperwork, but I researched and asked around if anybody had ever received that here, and nobody had any information
Is that
that had
2000?
actually happened.
18?
I believe so. Because it was when they signed the previous lease to the one that they signed last year.
Okay,
So it's a new year now.
all right.
But,
If-
yeah, no, I'd be okay with it if they were like providing, scholarships for some of the kids in the community for the Parks and Rec programming, or, just something. Because we can't fundraise, but we can accept donations, and
Yep.
So
that would
we're-
be great.
Yeah,
So where do their fees go to? The Little League?
so the Little League
Yes.
supports the Little League,
That
Glen Youth.
goes to their revenue, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Sorry, you said they said that they were gonna give us a donation.
What we're discussing is that
No, I
if you
know what
want to use the field, you have to pay a fee.
No,
They've
I get
never
that.
paid the fees.
I'm just asking.
Yes, they did in the past, but they never gave it. And it was a one time they said they'd give a donation.
Yeah.
It was when the snack
It
shack
was
opened up.
yeah, it was early on.
The way I understand it is, because they're a town organization, correct, Laura? They all are town organizations.
We tend not to charge town
That we
residents.
don't charge a town organization. However, we were under the agreement that there was going to be a donation made, and there was never a donation made.
Perhaps each season they sponsor an event or something like that, just in lieu
I
of.
mean, they're using those fields an awful lot.
Yeah, and I don't feel comfortable with like hoping they do something, or like it literally has to be in black and white for me to waive those fees. Otherwise, I would like to see them pay those fees.
I'm with her on that.
Yeah, if they're making
I mean,
money,
It's
they-
tough, but that's.
500 is minimal compared to what they're saving, on.
So is it, in that meeting on March,
Early March.
was it the
I think it was
4th?
the 4th.
That's right before, no, March
Right
6th.
before this meeting.
March 6th.
Is it? I
Yes.
think March 6th, wait.
I have it right here. Field meeting at
March
Parks and Rec.
6th, and then our meeting's the 8th, so it's right before.
March 6th.
Yeah, the field meeting is the 6th, and then Parks and Rec is the 8th, so it's the Monday before Parks and Rec meeting.
March 6th.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
By my math, that's the 6th.
We'll give you that one, John.
Can you be available March 6th?
Yeah, I can be available.
Okay.
So John and Amanda will be at that meeting.
Yeah, there can only be two of us.
Yeah.
Right. 'cause then
Only because we
quorum.
can't have a quorum.
Right.
So I would, yeah, I'm going to make myself available as well. I will be upfront and honest with you. With town organizations, I do believe they should probably be waived. I am also in agreement with you that there should be a donation, if it was said that it should be made to this department, or sponsor an event, or a scholarship or something, and we should have that in writing and an agreement.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
And if not, $10 is way too cheap.
Yeah. I mean,
So, okay. Let's continue that on March 6th?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And I think it's important that she has the scheduling and all that stuff, just so that everybody knows who's on the field at what time.
Yep.
I did put all of that in my original email.
Do we have confirmation on who's going to be here from each organization?
We do not as of right now.
Okay.
So I will reach out again.
So I know who did respond. And
Yes.
let's confirm who we're going to have at that meeting. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Perfect.
And can we just make sure that, like, those type of organizations can't then turn around and use that field and rent it to somebody else? You know?
Yeah, that should be in the rental agreement. I mean,
Yeah.
we're not subletting fields, right?
Right. I hope
I
not,
think
but
they'll probably
I
break the
think, I
contract.
think,
We can amend the rental agreement to include that.
I'd imagine it's in the
tomorrow.
contract.
You absolutely can't sublet a field.
Like, kind of thought it went without saying, but we'll just make sure that
yeah,
it's
I think
amended to
it might
say.
need to be
CYA
black and
code,
white.
yeah.
Yeah.
Reiterated.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
please, thank you.
yeah. CPF function room and public space improvements.
We are getting new doors next week over here, thanks to Brian on Thursday, I believe. So that'll be very, very exciting. And we reached out to Mr. Crowley at the high school, and he is going to have some of his students in the fall build us a new countertop for a woodworking project, and some more hooks for out in the hallway where the kids put their backpacks. So we're very excited about that as well.
Awesome.
Great.
It's excellent.
Mass Parks and Rec Conference.
So there is a Parks and Rec conference next month that we were hoping to both be able to attend. It's 2 days.
Where is it?
It's in Norwood? Norwood.
Hotel.
It is a hotel. We're gonna share a room, and we have joined Mass Parks and Rec, and it starts Monday at 1, so we'll go Monday morning, and it ends Wednesday at 2.
Yeah, you went last year, right?
We both went to the one in, was it April?
We went to
Or
the New
September?
England
It was
Parks and Rec, it was
yes.
September, so it was right before Old Home Day.
Oh, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
We're gonna need to motion.
Oh.
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead.
I motion to approve that the department goes to the Mass Parks and Recreation Conference on March 27th to the 24th. And that the 29th, and that the offices be closed during that time.
we can still
Do we have-
remotely be, if we get the cell phone for them, that would be awesome.
Okay, let's
Okay.
let's get into the comments, because I have a couple comments, because I think
Okay.
you're right.
Okay.
Second,
was
Second.
the name of the conference? Sorry.
it's the Mass Parks and Recreation Conference. Make sure that your hotel, travel, food, everything is covered, and your expenses.
Okay.
Okay? Just make sure it's all covered. You don't want it coming out of your pocket. Okay? Make
Okay.
sure, because the department has it.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
I would probably try to get somebody in here. If you can't, answer it remotely.
Okay.
I don't want you answering the phone when you're in a conference and
Yeah.
learning and stuff.
Do
We
we
might
still
be
have?
able to get a senior center
I was just
volunteer,
gonna say.
because they
We can see.
still have, they're
what I
trying to
was
work
She
on their
doesn't
tax.
What about an
technically
intern?
Start until January. They're in high school,
school.
so they are only in here for like an hour.
The interns?
Yeah. Tell Mr. Meyer if he wants us to do the after-school program.
Carter here?
Dr. Meyer, sir, not Mr. Meyer. Whoops, messed that one up.
Who's that?
Superintendent.
Yeah. we
Oh,
can.
that's our new,
Yeah.
No, he's been around for a while.
like 3 years, right?
Yeah.
No, since I was
Or-
in
Because of the tax.
Oh, yeah, yep. Yeah, she said she always has,
Yeah.
she's inundated with them.
So we
She
could
said.
have someone come down.
Oh,
We have
yeah.
somebody that we've
Jerry,
used
yeah.
in the past, but
I don't
if
think
she's
she
not
can start
doing
until
the
July.
July or something, but if she has someone in the interim, we can have them come down and spend a couple of days with us, and even if they
Yeah.
just answer the phone and take the notes and
Notes.
put it in an email and send them to us, we
That'd be
can
perfect.
address any issues, so it's seamless.
So we're gonna have the motion on the floor right now, cover that, and then next meeting, we have one more meeting before that, if there's anything else before that. And then I also, in the April meeting, just an update on what you guys had, because I love conferences, I love the type of stuff, so. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Perfect. Translating rental documents.
So the rental documents that you all got copies to last meeting, we're having those translated into Spanish and Portuguese so that it is accessible and
Perfect.
everybody can read and understand all of the terms of the rental, and just so that we can be as
Good.
Yes.
inclusive as possible. That's what I was looking for.
We don't have to pay for that, do we?
Guadalupe Cuom, who is the family outreach counselor for the Clinton Public Schools, is doing it for us. We put them through Google Docs, translated them from English to Spanish, English to Portuguese, put them on the format, and
She's gonna
send them to
check
her.
her.
She's going
Yeah.
through,
Make it
making sure
fluent.
that it
Yeah,
was
it's probably
translated
gonna be
correctly.
errors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Right,
awesome.
Okay.
Those aren't exact.
Yeah.
Oh,
All of a
that's,
sudden
a
you-
good, that's a good way to do it, rather than doing like the whole thing by hand.
Okay.
I like that.
Awesome, ladies.
Thank you.
We already covered Toby Crowley building that,
Yes.
correct?
Yep.
Last,
Countertop, right?
pardon me?
The countertop?
Yes,
Yes.
yeah. CPR, SEMA, CFD, Clinton Fire Department, Clinton Emergency.
So we recently found out that we are a SEMA emergency shelter for if there's a emergency. So like with the severe cold last week,
Right.
they announced during the select board meeting that if somebody's heat goes out, that they would be replaced here. Yeah.
You had no
And we
idea.
didn't know until then, so we did end up having a meeting with SEMA, who is now under the Clinton Fire Department,
Okay.
and the Clinton Police Department, the town administrator, all of the pertinent departments, just to figure out like what the policies would be and like how we would handle it if that practice ever had to go into place. But
Yeah, like where does it put you to?
And what do you
have
need
be
to
present?
order?
we don't have to be present just because they have a code to
I
the
was just gonna
door.
say,
Yeah,
she
so
doesn't drink.
they would just let us know so that we would cancel any rentals that would, or programming that would be taking place during that time. And so we also added that into our rental agreements, just as a clause,
call, yeah.
so that,
Oh, in case like during.
There's an
the summers.
emergency, your birthday party's
yeah.
canceled.
Yeah.
Got it.
Don't worry, we'll refund you.
Yeah, exactly.
The music does that
Uninvited
cold
guests
stay?
show
They
up
didn't
at
end up
their
using
birthday
it,
party.
No,
but-
they use the senior center and the library as warming shelters from like 9 to 3:30
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see
on
that.
And then
Saturday.
luckily, there
But
was
this is an
no-
overnight, is that?
Yeah.
We're an overnight, so
They would
there's
bring
30
cots
cots.
in.
Cots.
It has the availability for 30 cots, so, and it would be a short term until the Red Cross.
The Red Cross would come in
Would step in.
and
Do that right.
find a long-term shelter
Got it.
I
for,
wonder if we could get any special funding because of that.
that's a possibility.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Grants?
Yeah. I
Might be.
mean,
Yeah.
just putting a
It's
bug out
definitely a
there.
possibility.
I think the more grants we get, honestly, the
The-
better. I mean,
The last thing, kind of along the line that you and I emailed about a little bit was that E AED.
I also, that's, speaking of grants, last week we applied for the ARPA grant for public health under COVID.
Okay,
And we asked for funds to purchase an AED machine and
Okay.
pay for the instructional courses so that we can
Perfect.
become AED CPR instructors and
Okay.
all of the instructional materials. That way we can offer those classes through us and we don't have to outsource. And then,
for your counselors and
Yes.
stuff, perfect.
so not only for our counselors and for like the blast course that we
For
put
the
on,
town.
we can do that, and for all of the, we only offer them for
Childcare
children.
providers.
So for childcare providers,
Awesome.
adults in the community,
That's really-
That's
awesome.
Is that
Those
the
people in the
shopping?
community would
Yeah,
love
yeah,
that.
defibrillator.
and it's hard to find courses and they're expensive,
So
and that
the-
way we wouldn't
Yeah.
have to worry about meeting the cost of the instructor just because it would be.
So-
Us.
Yeah,
So
because
we would
you
Our-
be
And
like,
it,
Yeah.
it
even
booms
Yeah.
up
coaches,
every time they
we always
offer.
gotta have it.
like
They
classes
go up
on
so
that.
fast.
Yeah, Bella's
That's what-
taking
yeah.
it and she loved it.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So, yeah, AEDs are like a grand too,
Yeah,
so.
they're very
yeah.
expensive.
Okay, great. I think it's important to have that. I mean,
The classes.
been such a high awareness after the Hamlin injury.
Oh,
and-
yeah.
And how he was basically saved by one, so.
Where would that be coming from? Sorry,
The ARPA funds, the ARPA.
Their
Grant.
funds from COVID.
thank
Is
Is
you.
that the one that went to the town?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
They've
Thank you.
been talking about what to do
Town
with the
buildings, I mean,
funds.
there's
Is
one
that
at
one they gave us
Town Hall.
1,200 or 1,300?
I don't know why we don't have
We
one.
should have one,
Yeah.
especially.
There should be
with
one here.
programming here.
There should be
Yeah.
one.
We want it
here,
every
so.
building.
A what?
Okay.
The defibrillator, the
Yeah.
AED machine.
Yeah,
Pretty easy.
they are, very.
And then on the topic of grants, Laura also applied for a grant today for our summer concert series. What was through?
Well,
National-
it was, the Worcester Chamber of Commerce, which we're a part of, offered up a grant, that's sponsored by National Grid, and you just had to submit your last National Grid bill and a copy of your either W-9 or tax exempt form, so. we Filled it out, and who knows, can we talk about the summer concert, because it's not on the agenda,
It
can that be
seems
public
that
comment?
well, it was under upcoming events and I for some reason skipped that whole section. So just really fast, upcoming events. We have Moving and Grooving with Mary starting this Saturday, and that's a 6-week session, and it includes drop-ins again, backed by popular demand. And we have another one coming up in April. February Vacation Playground is full with a wait list. We have the Princess Tea Party 1 and 2 both full with wait lists. The St. Patrick's Scavenger Hunt is on the calendar again. We did that last year, and we're looking for local businesses that are willing to participate. We're offering an intro to crystals for 10 through 14-year-olds, and it comes with a crystal set that they get to take home. And then weather permitting, we're hoping that the teen nights will be able to start at the end of March, beginning of April. We're hoping in April to start offering art classes through Collins Artwork, and they would be held here on Saturday mornings following Moving and Grooving with Mary. Let's see. The egg hunt and the bunny visits are on the calendar again for this year. And then April Vacation Playground is filling up quickly. We have the Sons Movie Night and Daughters Dance on the calendar for May 12th and 13th, and then our outdoor movie is Memorial Day weekend, and then the one at the end of the summer is Labor Day weekend, are both on the calendar as well, just trying to get those times blocked off in advance.
We're on opposite ends of the park during the dance.
Yes.
Because
And
prom's
the
the night,
prom.
prom's the same night,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
It shouldn't be an issue, and people find parking for Old Home Day, Conrad
Without a
Yard
doubt.
Sale, much bigger events.
Without a doubt.
Yeah,
There'll be
so-
limos there, and that's fine,
Exactly.
yeah, we're good.
And they're really not at the park for that long anyway.
Yeah, you're just taking
so,
pictures, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and they get there like an hour after we're already there too, so it's not like a huge, so.
Good.
It's
We
only
also-
2 hours.
Yeah.
So.
So we also are going to have pictures open up earlier this year for the Daddy Daughter Dance. That way, or for
Alleviates
the
the
Daughters
lines.
Dance, that way it alleviates the lines.
Are we using the same people?
Yes.
Okay.
And, okay, so then we have 10 consecutive weeks of summer program, all booked, secured. Field trips are all secured. And then our handbooks are up on the website, so the playground handbook and the summer playground handbook are both up. The playground one is just for events held at, or programs held at this building. And then the summer playground one is for the ones at the high school. So I was gonna print them all for you, but they're very long and so didn't wanna, yeah. Let's see. And then summer concert series is booked for 10 consecutive weeks.
You have every,
We have
we
all
do.
10 bands, all confirmed.
Yeah.
did Joe ever get back to you? Joe runs
Joe.
zoning.
He did not email me back, but Joe Papecki did.
I did, I saw it on his schedule.
Yeah.
And we have a nice cross-section, and
Yeah.
we start June 20th and we go through August 29th.
So.
Is the first one for the kids?
It
Yeah,
is,
so the
it's-
first one is, but then we have skipping over 4th of July, because that's on a Tuesday. We have the next 9
Yep.
concerts are all.
How about your Valentine's date night? Did that go through or not?
Unfortunately, that did not fill up this year either.
No.
The
But
high school's offering.
yeah,
Cheaper, so.
yeah.
I saw you posting that.
We forwarded it too. We were
okay.
Yeah. If they're making money, it's
Yeah.
a fundraiser
Yeah,
for
it's
NHS.
great.
I mean,
That's, I
Exactly.
mean, $10 and they get pizza and everything.
Right.
I wanna go.
I mean, we can pull back to give something for
Yeah.
them.
Oh, definitely.
What's your first, 20th is the first one?
Yes.
And then 27th
The
off
27th.
off the 4th.
And then
And
the
then
And then
29th
11th,
is the
18th,
last one.
25th.
1 to 4th.
Okay.
Not 1 to 4th, correct. And they'll be posted soon. We did
you
sponsor
have-
letters, so those will go out to local companies, seeing if they want to sponsor either all of the concert or a portion of the concert, and there are different levels, platinum, silver, bronze.
Great.
And so you'll have an opportunity. Luca's America's Food Truck
and Sterling Street Brewery.
committed for
And
the
the
entire
brewery.
series.
They'll be back,
They want
yeah.
to be our sole food truck, and Sterling Street
Who
Brewery.
guys wanna be the sole?
Luca American
Oh, yeah.
Kitchen.
Yeah.
They were there last year, unbelievable food.
Probably
And
good
they won
revenue producer.
I'm sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's
It's
great
it's a
revenue.
guaranteed
They
Couple
sell
hundred
out.
people.
Yeah.
couple hundred people.
And Sterling Street Brewery also committed for all weeks, so we're very lucky. So we're
Nice.
started doing the liquor permits and the food permits and just getting the ball
I'm
rolling so
excited.
that
Great.
we can be ready to hit the ground running.
And then this year, instead of selling popcorn, so we're not competing with like the food truck, we're
Right.
gonna sell T-shirts. So on the front, it would be like
Love that.
Summer Concert
cool.
Series, and then the back
Yes.
would have all of the different weeks.
Love that.
And you're supporting a local business by using emotions.
Yes.
I like it.
So we're very excited.
Nice job. Nice job.
And then Townwide yard sale is on the calendar for the 22nd of January, and we're hoping to possibly, or July, I'm sorry. July, and then hoping to possibly expand that into offering a portion of it to be like a farmer's market type, just to expand that event a little bit. And then Laura also began the Holiday Pops planning for next year, so that will be another awesome event.
We already have the orchestra, the space, who will be serving, the liquor, the talent, so.
Moving right along.
In
December 2nd.
February. Good. I love it.
So,
Last year we started planning the end of August,
So-
so this is,
It's
it's
a
so
little bit
nice
better.
having a little bit of a
Good,
cushion.
good.
I think that is.
That it?
Yeah, that's it for
Awesome.
what we have on the calendar at the moment, but lots more to come, so.
Wow, that was a lot to be doing.
Thank you.
Okay. I motion to adjourn.
I have one,
Good.
Go
one
ahead.
for public comment. I just wanted to, it's, this is just to the, commission, the director and assistant director, and to the community. But I just wanted to thank all of you for answering the questions that I, might not understand, being my first year in office. Everything that we discussed that I might not know, so that I can strive to be the best commissioner I can to benefit the community in the most efficient way. I really appreciate it. I appreciate that you guys work with me. It's my first time understanding. So I appreciate it. Thank you, and
Thanks.
I appreciate it. I really do.
There's a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.